Did you ever spend time with the guy? Did you ever meet Diddy?
I've met him before, yeah.
How was he?
Very nice guy, very smart, super business. You know, I mean, he's very successful.
He said, nobody that I deal with, nobody that I know is going to do anything with y'all. No business at all.
Gene Deal's last stand, a whistle blow echoing into silence. Gene Deal didn't. T just fade away. He detonated his truth and then vanished like smoke. 1 minute, he was sitting in front of a camera, dissecting Diddy's empire with clinical precision. The next, he was off the grid. No final post. No warning, just gone. His disappearance wasn't subtle, it was operatic. His family says they saw it happen. Their account, like something out of Goodfellas. It's a blacked-out SUV. 4 men familiar faces from Diddy's long shadow approached fast. No IDs, no words, just force.
When she put out those pictures of the dude pulling his pants down and it looked like some gay act that was going on, he got on the phone. He said, let me tell you
They
this.
shoved Gene in, slammed the doors, and peeled off into the night. It wasn't random. It was a message. Let's not get it twisted. Gene wasn't some bitter ex-bodyguard chasing clout. He was in the belly of the beast. Backstage, hotel rooms, studio sessions, he saw it all. He was there when reputations were forged and bodies were allegedly buried, maybe metaphorically, maybe not. In his final interview, Gene didn't pull punches. He swung for the throat. Named names, laid out timelines. Dusted off skeletons and aired them like dirty laundry on the 4th of July. He torched Diddy's public image. Called out Stevie J, accusing him of gangster cosplay and questioning his memory. I don't know when he became a gangster, Gene sneered. It's the substances, bro. It wasn't just personal, it was prophetic. And then silence. Gene had been warned. People close to him say the threats started trickling in before that last interview even dropped. Calls from blocked numbers, menacing voices telling him to retract.
I don't know this, but it just seems very suspicious when you go through and you look at in the history of different people that can make you go away if you know. Listen, I've worried about some of the things that I talk about on my show.
Face the consequences. One anonymous voicemail was chilling. Take it back or take what's coming. He didn't flinch, at least not publicly. Privately, though, he knew. One associate said Gene told him flat out, they ain't gonna let me talk forever. And he was right now. Gene is missing. Not a trace. And the internet, especially the darker corners, is exploding with one whispered theory. The cleanup crew. It sounds like Pulp Fiction, but in Diddy's circle, it's whispered like urban legend.
About look at Diddy, for instance. Mm-hmm. Let's take a look at him. Mm-hmm. Let's take a look at. He has videos. He has videos of the parties. Now, what I've heard, which I don't know how much of it is in mainstream media, I don't really follow the story that much, but what I've heard from friends that are attorneys, friends of mine that have represented me before, agents and so on, is there's a bidding war going on right now.
A silent for allegedly deployed when the empire's walls start shaking, not lawyers, not PR, something darker. Erased witnesses, silenced insiders, sanitized trails. One former road manager told a podcast host that when things got hot, Diddy didn't lift a finger. Others did it for him. There's no official connections. There's no traceable links. Just problems that cease to exist, and the list of missing voices is growing. Take victim 3, the keystone in the Fed's trafficking case. She was prepped to testify, ready to drop her pseudonym and speak her truth in open court. And then, gone. Her lawyer gone, phone's dead, doors locked, the prosecution still waiting. Patterns sound familiar? This isn't just a man gone missing. It's a potential system, methodical, ruthless, and quietly effective. Meanwhile, Diddy sits behind bars. On charges that read like the script for a true crime series, racketeering, human trafficking, witness tampering. But the real question going in legal backrooms and media group chat.
When we got back to New York City, Wendy Williams was in Philly at a new station.
That's a Lycus. Is he still running things from inside? Federal filings suggest. Yes, One judge cited evidence that Diddy had used third-party inmate phone codes to orchestrate unauthorized three-way calls allegedly to sway witnesses. That's not rumor. That's courtroom fact. That's infrastructure. Gene was about to be the map to that entire machine. He connected dots others were too afraid to even acknowledge. Biggie's murder, Suge Keef, D, the Crips, the unspoken alliances and betrayals before that fatal night in LA. He called out the masks, the fakery, the industry's complicit silence, and now he's a ghost. But here's the twist. His silence hasn't erased his message. It's amplified it. What was once a YouTube interview has turned into a rallying cry. Gene's disappearance feels less like the end of a story and more like the start of a reckoning. Because this ain't isolated. It's systemic from Gene. To victim 3 to other unnamed voices who went quiet the moment they stepped forward. This looks like a pattern, a blueprint. Machine designed not just to build fame, but to protect it at any cost, even if that cost is people in the courtroom. Isn't where the real fight might be happening? The real war is in the shadows, where threats aren't written, they're whispered. Where enemies don't sue, they disappear. Gene Deal knew too much, said too much. If what we're seeing is even a glimpse of the full picture, the empire he threatened to expose may be capable of far more than we ever dared to believe, and still. No one knows where Gene Deal is. Not the media, not the feds, not even his family, just an SUV.
Oh yeah.
In the night, in a message that still echoes, they ain't gonna let me talk forever. Gene Deal didn't disappear. He was erased. Packing a go bag wasn't paranoia. It was pattern recognition. Over the years, anyone who's stepped forward with accusations against Sean Diddy, Holmes tends to fall off the radar right before things get formal. Right before depositions. Right before their...
I'm sorry, I'm just like really... I'm in this moment right now. This is crazy. Sorry. People don't really know how much what it does to you when something that you love is taken from you and thrown away like it don't even matter, and then they move on with their lives and you're stuck. You're stuck during those years. You're still stuck 21 years later.
Legally required to speak under oath. In some cases, private IG accounts pop up. In others, NDAs get signed, settlements drop overnight, and suddenly everything goes silent. Cassie Ventura only managed to go public because she had receipts no handler could Photoshop. Even then, she was...
How many people came through his orbit? How many people could this have happened to? And how did he get away with it for so long?
Behind the curtain. That's where the rumor of Gene Deal's final recording detonates the conversation, according to multiple insiders in the documentary and hip-hop archival world. Gene was allegedly compiling a personal vault, dozens of hours of raw audio and video he'd stockpiled over years alongside Diddy. This wasn't hearsay. It wasn't interviews. This was raw, behind-the-scenes footage. Conversations, code names, lists of who paid to play, who paid to stay invisible. One former producer who collaborated with Gene said there's at least one unreleased recording, so volatile it could take Diddy's legal team from defense to damage control overnight. And here's the kicker. Word is, federal investigators may already have...
Let's talk about the filth that's starting to come out in the early days of the Diddy trial. This, of course, is P. Diddy. Surprise, surprise, he's a creep. Surprise, surprise, he's done horrible things.
So now the chilling question. If the feds got the tape, why hasn't the public seen it? Is it being classified as evidence in a much larger investigation? Or more disturbingly, as someone ensuring it never sees the light of day? We've seen this pattern before. Disappearing depositions, buried court filings, cases sealed in the interest of national security once they start brushing against elite echelons. And Diddy isn't just a hitmaker. He's been entangled in the culture, media, politics, and
what's really going to be interesting is the parade of celebrities who we expect to be mentioned and or called into that courtroom. You know, people who we hadn't heard about prior, like Mike Myers, you know, Austin Powers, Mike Myers. Why is he getting called? Why is he on the witness list? That'll be fascinating. And then, of course, there are the no-name, quote unquote, women who are going to have to find every ounce of courage they have.
$1 million boardrooms for decades. If Gene's archive contains what sources suggest unfiltered proof of high-profile names and coded operations, then the fallout wouldn't stop. At Combs, it could crater half an industry, which makes Gene's vanishing not just suspicious, but inevitable. The courts lumber forward. Jury selection creeps toward the finish line. Cameras banned from the room. Meanwhile, Diddy's legal battalion, led by veterans like Tenny Garagos, continues to fire off precision filings like legal heat-seeking missiles. But even his team seems uneasy. Their witness list...
They saw evidence in the case. They immediately honed in on racketeering, and they started saying, why is this racketeering with one guy? And they're charging this one guy. They had a real problem with that. They did not have a problem with the Mann Act. They found him guilty on the Mann Act. And they hung 6 to 6 on racketeering.